This is Jeff Weiss with the last lecture from HRT 211, plant propagation. And in this final lecture, I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about activities you can do to occupy your time and keep your plant propagation skills fresh and produce beautiful, healthy plants all throughout the year. Since this is our last class, I'd really like to thank you for your active participation and wish you a great summer. Um, what we have this week is just this brief lecture, no new readings. There is a discussion and but no assignment. Your presentations and final papers are due, and exam number 3 will be the last activity for the class. Um, Congratulations on successfully completing it. So I put this painting done by David Teniers the Younger in the 1600s. In the 1600s to kind of represent the idea that uh, even if you don't propagate your plants year round, you can certainly enjoy the fruits and the wine and the good eating of your labors. So keep propagating. The only learning objective for this week is to try to enable you to keep busy with plants year round. This graphic is one more version of a crop schedule for a native seed production or seed propagation program. Um, One of the things that this suggests, or at least it works out for me, is that I can do my native plant activities in times of the year, especially the harvesting, cleaning, mixing, and sowing, in months where I don't have any other things going on in my garden. So the time frames of working on revegetating native areas and growing a backyard garden are quite complementary, and they keep me busy and active and engaged all year round. Starting in midwinter, we uh, you saw that we planted our native seeds in seed trays, um, but it's also a good time of year to finish planting all of the seeds that you collected and cleaned out in natural areas. They will go through the natural stratification and scarification processes, and you'll start to get germination in the spring. It's also time to cut hardwoods from dogwoods and elderberries. As we saw, these plants can be directly uh, uh, stuck in trays to grow, or they can be stored in sphagnum peat moss and planted directly as rooted cuttings in May, in early May. So a little later on in the winter, January in our case, it was time to plant those seed trays in the greenhouse, make hardwood cuttings, and do your spring cleaning to clean up any remaining dead foliage and prepare the soil to receive the warm rays of the sun and to begin growing again. In early spring, you can get your your cool season garden seeds going. In my case, I planted. This year was a very harsh winter, and the snow stayed on the ground until late into March. But I was out there sowing my lettuce and pea seeds a couple of weeks after the snow melted, and covered them with a plastic low tunnel. And it's now early May, and going to be eating salad from my garden starting probably next week. It's also time to make basil cuttings, divide your houseplants, and you can layer your shrubs. In the case of native plants, the hazelnut is a good example of a plant that will respond to layering the stem tips. Other examples that we talked about earlier in the course include brambles, raspberries, and blackberries, and also roses. A little later, early spring to mid-spring, you can sow your native grass seeds and warm season plants. They do not need to stratify, so they will respond and grow very well as soon as the temperature warms in the soil. It's also time to plant your hardy vegetable and herb seeds outdoors. Even while there's a danger of frost, they should be adapted to survive and to do well, especially before the night's temperatures heat up, and the plants will bolt to seed if planted too late into the spring. Start your warm season seeds indoors or in the greenhouse or in a cold frame and give them a good start, but protect them from frost. Especially plants like basil are very tender and will get wiped out at even temperatures above freezing. And then time to transplant your native plants from seed trays into pots and begin to prepare them for the whatever plant sale you're involved in, or for planting out into as plugs into natural areas. A little later in the spring, just before you plant, remember to harden off and plant your frost-tolerant plants. Hardy annuals, especially things like pansies and viola, and make your basil cuttings in divisions now. Early summer, plant your warm season seeds and seedlings. These would be mostly garden plants. Divide your aquatic plants. We never did talk about propagating aquatic plants, but it is a really interesting and important area of horticulture. And it's also time to make your softwood cuttings. Ideally, you would want to put them in a greenhouse with a misting system or a fogging system so that they can be protected from drying out. Midsummer, divide or separate your offsets from some early bulbs. Time to spread and rejuvenate your plants like tulips and daffodils and other bulbs in the garden. Spread your strawberry runners so that they will produce next year's crop. Increase your blackberry, raspberry plants by tip layering. And then midsummer is the time for some invasive plant control and insect pests such as these nasty Japanese beetles. What I use for Japanese beetles is soapy water, and I just hold a bowl of soapy water underneath them and shake them out into the bowl. It takes a daily treatment, but it does protect plants from significant damage. To the extent that you can use these natural remedies for pests, you can reduce the release of herbicides and chemicals into the environment. Late summer, mid to late summer, plant your cool season herbs and vegetables. And for your second crop, you can graft such plants as witch hazel, which is pictured here. You can do budding on your fruit trees and propagate lilies from bud scales that you've started earlier in the year. As the season progresses into early and mid-fall, it's time to start harvesting your summer and late summer seeds. You can lift, divide, and plant your fall bulbs, giving them access to fresh nutrients and softer worked soil. You can put your half-hardy tubers and herbaceous perennials out for fall, and that is a technique that we did not talk about much during the semester, so continue to learn and study and try new techniques. And rather than in spring, which is when we tried to make the conifer cuttings, you might want to try them again in early to mid-fall. In late fall, finish your fall harvest. This includes both vegetable seeds that you've decided to save, and also the plants from natural areas and preserves. It's a good time to insert your hardwood cuttings right after leaf fall. You can layer your evergreen shrubs. Another technique we did not cover in class, but they can also be propagated through layering. And time for your fall cleanup. Early winter, as we did in class, time to clean, mix, and take your native plant seeds out into prairies, woodlands, wetlands, and sow them for stratification and germination the following spring. You can make, before the soil freezes, you can take root cuttings from woody plants and herbaceous perennials, and now it's time to finish your fall and early winter cleanup. So that's plant propagation throughout the year. The discussion question is, what's your favorite month for plants? I think mine has become November. It's my least favorite month for weather, but it is because of all of the propagation activities for the native plants. It has become my favorite year for horticulture. And think about, and maybe put them on a Excel spreadsheet that you want to hang up in a place where you can refer to it. Put these ideas for new activities and propagation techniques that you want to try out. It'll help you remember and maybe keep your any commitments that you're making about new things that you want to try or things that you want to learn going forward. So that about does it. All that you have left is your final project, class project and presentation, and a final exam. So I know I certainly enjoyed getting to know you and learning with you as the semester has gone, and I hope you found the class informative and offering possibilities to continue to learn and continue to enjoy plants and horticulture throughout the year. Our last lab will include a presentation on beekeeping and honey. Pollination by bees is a very, very important part of maintaining healthy and productive plants. And then we'll see your project presentations and do a last check and remove materials from the greenhouse and the hoop house in back of the horticulture building. So with that, again, I'd like to thank you again and wish you well and a very productive future in propagating and taking care of and enjoying your plants.